Oh, hi. I'm just here reading one of my favorite books. Welcome to the Sandbox Social. Let's get started. I am so excited you're here today. This is our first show at the Sandbox Social. We have a great one for you today. It's going to be awesome. We are going to be talking to some very important people, have a great interview, and lastly, we're going to end with some important events coming up. So stay tuned and let's get started with the show. The Sandbox Social comes from years of passion working with parents and caregivers. Again, I am so excited to be able to launch this show. I myself was an educator for several years here in our community, working with parents in the classroom and outside of the classroom. This show is filmed in Aurora, Illinois, the second largest city in the state of Illinois. But the show is for everyone. It's for everyone in Kane County. It's for everyone in the entire state. It's for everyone in the country. We want to hear from you. This show is for you. This show aims to build a community of parents, caregivers around the topic of early childhood, one that personally excites me a lot. I'm really excited to be here, and I want to welcome you to engage with me, to give me ideas and help build this show side by side with you. So again, today, a super exciting show. Stay tuned. Let's jump into our first segment. We have an interview that I am so grateful for. But first, before we go into the interview, I want to give you a little bit of backstory. Before I introduce our guest, let's learn about her work and the new exciting Illinois State Department that's going to be launched. First proposed by our current governor in October 2023, the new State Department exclusively focusing on early childhood programs and services for young children will improve quality and accessibility for families and caregivers. In June 2024, the Department of Early Childhood Act was signed into law, establishing the Illinois Department of Early Childhood to unite the majority of early childhood services into one place. This will make it easier for families to access critical services and for stronger coordination between the various early childhood programs and services provided by the state. Currently, services for young children are housed in 3 separate agencies: the Illinois State Department of Education, the Illinois Department of Human Services, and the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services. Navigating the current system is complex and sometimes can be ineffective, often leaving service gaps and challenges for families. With this new agency, early childhood programs will be unified to improve ease and availability for families and providers seeking state resources. Programs will continue to be housed under their legacy agencies as the state works with educators, parents, providers, and community stakeholders to design the ideal framework and practical rollout for this new state agency. This will make early childhood education and care services so much more simpler, better, and fair for families in our state. And I couldn't be more excited. I want to transition now into the interview I was recently able to hold with the new inaugural Secretary, Teresa Ramos. She is going to be the head of this new organization, this new department, and I had a couple of minutes to chat with her. Let's see what that looked like. Hi, everyone, and welcome. I am so excited. Today we have our first guest on the show, Secretary Teresa Ramos for the new Department of Early Childhood here in the state of Illinois. Thank you so much for being here. We have a couple of questions for you. We're very excited. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, so the show is called the Sandbox Social. And my first question for you, Secretary, is do you have a particular favorite place where you hung out as a child at a playground?
Yeah, it wasn't the Sandbox, so I'm sorry to say. For sure, when I was in grammar school in Chicago, what we had was what feels like now the largest, tallest swing set in the whole
Yeah.
universe, like they don't probably make them that height anymore by regulation. So it was the swings, and it wasn't a singular activity. Of course, it was with your friends, and you did fun things with
Yes.
them and all kinds of pushing, and so it was the swings.
Now, I'm right there with you. I was a swing set guy, and I 100% remember the ones that were probably way too high, and we could
Way
go
too high. They don't
way
make
too
them that
high
high
on
anymore,
them.
for
Yeah,
sure.
that's so awesome. I love that. Going along that same theme, was there a favorite game or activity? Maybe days where you weren't able to go out into the playground, maybe you had to stay at home. Something you enjoyed doing, a game activity, and maybe something that stuck with you from that.
I thought about two things. One, I for sure like to jump rope. And again, one of
Okay.
those like playground activities. But I also thought about what I did with my mom's side of the family is Polish American and my dad's side of the family is
Right.
Mexican American. But my grandmother on my mom's side taught us pinochle, which is a complicated game
Okay.
for like three or four people. And what it taught me is like there are rules to the game, and the game is sometimes about the rules, and a lot of times it's about the people you're playing with. And that for sure has stuck with me for the rest of my life.
I love that. That theme, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's play, right? It's so much
Yep,
about what you're doing, but then who you're engaging with
that's right.
and those relationships and the ups and downs that happen between a game that could be a very short game and a lot could happen or a longer prolonged game. That's great. Um, so I have some questions around the new department and just kind of general. Outside of all the meetings I'm sure you're having right now, very serious planning and policy meetings, what is one thing you're just excited about for this new department, for this new opportunity for families and children in Illinois?
Uh, there's so many things to be excited about. I mean, there's lots of pressure and lots of work, but there's so many things to be excited about. I'm really excited about the opportunity to really think through and critically about how we do a better job of serving families who are least well served right now.
Mhm.
And that includes really thinking about those in birth to 3 or prenatal to 3 years. And it really means thinking about children who could receive early intervention services, have disability, developmental, or other delays and need additional supports. I always think there's places to improve, but that seems like the best place. And so my big dream would be that we're really building, 54 weeks from now, we're really on a path to improving state services and the reach of state services at that time.
Yeah, that's super important, and that's something mentioned earlier before we went on air. I'm super excited about and that access for families. That is really that big dream that I think I share with you as well as other parents who live in this area in this state. Um, I want to go to a different question about early literacy and books. And I have three children, and I'm always reading, and they're always reading. So here's the question: if the new department was a picture book, what would the cover look like? Let's think, a brand new picture book, the brand ones. We love those new picture book feel. What would the cover of the new State Department book look like?
It's I've been thinking about this question a little bit. So you can go like maybe the more like expected route, which is like it's blue sky and everything. But I think actually um, what it means, and I also have a 5-year-old, so I read tons of kids'
Okay.
books.
Yeah. Awesome.
Is like there's just a rich diversity of families and family types and
Yeah.
kids' ages and parents, guardians, families, and there's joy. Like across that
Yes.
diversity, there's just joy. And I think that's what, we do all this work in part because the state is a service entity. We want more families to be experiencing joy and for sure limiting the amount of burden just accessing state services causes families. So that's what I think it looks like, a really rich diversity of families, experiencing joy together.
I love it. And a blue sky behind them
And a
with
blue
some
sky behind it.
sun
That's
and
right. Let's
clouds.
just head, bring it all
Yes, I
in.
love it. Maybe they're outside and some grassy, but there's a playground behind them,
That's right.
maybe.
Yeah.
I love it. That's
Mhm.
great. Secretary, you mentioned you have a 5-year-old. I'm just curious, does your 5-year-old have a favorite book that
So
you
I
like
thought
to read
about
to?
this too, and I was thinking about your questions. Um, she has, I think, many. favorite books, and she's
Hmm.
really into both. I think they just went through like a recycling, unit in pre-K, so she's really big into
Okay.
the water cycle right now. But when I was thinking about storybook characters in particular, she got really into this book, Drum Dream Girl. I don't know
Okay.
if you've read it. It is about the first female drummer from Cuba, but she was
Oh,
Afro-Chinese Cuban uh, girl who came from a musical family and became like, eventually played drums for President Roosevelt. It's incredible.
wow.
And it's just very
Oh,
it's history, but it's very figurative and imaginative and empowering. So she digs that one.
I love that. I'm not familiar with that book, but I'm definitely gonna have to look it up. I have two daughters. My son is the youngest, but my two daughters would totally be into something like
Love
that.
it.
So thanks for the
Yeah.
recommendation. Well, let's go back to your childhood again. Are there any favorite storybook characters that you grew up with? Maybe one that stuck out, or your favorite book, and maybe something that you still apply to now in your work.
Yeah, I have so many favorites from when I was a kid. I think everything from, Where the Sidewalk Ends, so lots of poetry books that were just
Mm, okay.
imaginative,
Yeah.
to, at some point I started to read all of the Goosebumps and couldn't stop me from
Oh
reading all of
yeah.
those. I really just loved st strong characters who were detectives
Mm,
and trying to figure it out and solve problems, which,
yeah.
as you can imagine, is what I spend a lot of time doing now.
Chorus. I love that. Yeah, makes sense. A lot of those things follow through into your adult professional life. I know you've been doing some traveling. I know you've been getting around the entire state and meeting with a lot of different people. Is there any piece of wisdom, maybe from even a child? I don't know if you've had the opportunity to speak to children and you hear what they have to say about this new department that's really going to be working for them. Anything that has stood out that maybe a child or a parent of a child has said that you're like, I'm really going to take that back. I
Yeah.
think we could apply something around that.
I have been around the state. I saw you, what was it, last week in Kane County? I think I was there
Yeah.
twice, and then I was in Lake County last night for an early childhood coalition meeting. Um, and I've gotten to like maybe 30 centers over and or homes over the course of the last several months. Sometimes the kids are sleeping, sometimes they're playing, sometimes they're telling me things. When I thought about the kid wisdom, I think it's less on the words that they've shared and more just like their openness and their honesty and their like willingness
Yes.
to like communicate love and excitement, like just uninhibited, right? Like joy in reading
Yes.
and joy in engaging and meeting new people. And I think that just transparency and honesty and ability to say like let's connect, I think matters a lot, because again, just like playing pinochle is like state government, it's not just what you're doing, but it's who you're doing with and how you're doing it that makes all the difference.
Yeah, you bring up a really good point. I love that, right? That the kids are just joyful and transparent and want the best really for all their friends and their families, and
Yeah,
they're always thinking about others. And I think that really translates into the work you're doing now and leading this new State Department for families. And obviously the work you're doing, listening to families in many different ways, really. And we want to share some of those opportunities here today in the show so more people get involved and
yeah,
more people across the state hear about what's happening, not only stay informed but also contribute that open and joyful and wishes and dreams, right? This is really what we're after, and I think kids are a
right.
great avenue to get some of that. I hope you do continue to get some of that
Hope they
as you
just
go to different
ask,
parts of
they
the
just say
state,
this is what
right?
I want, that's great. Yep.
Yeah, one of the things I want to do is actually invite families to submit artwork and questions and really be a part of this new show that we're starting here. I just want to wrap up and thank you again for your
Well, thank
time
you.
being here. I had a great time getting to know you a little
Same.
bit more and answering these questions for us. I hope to have you back in the future as the
Of
department
course.
continues to develop. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our viewers before we close?
I'm just really excited to be leading this new agency and getting to partner with folks. I'm happy to come back. Congratulations on the launch of the show. I'm happy to come back
Thank
anytime
you.
and give more updates and hear, from families what we could are doing okay now and what we can do better in the future. It would be great. So thank you for giving us
Yeah.
this space.
Thank you so much for being here, and we will definitely be in touch.
Sounds great.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Secretary Ramos, for your time. I had a great time in our conversation. And most importantly, I want to thank you for the awesome recommendation that you gave me, Drum Dream Girl. I've already started reading it at home with my children, and they love it. I would invite everyone to take a look at this book. It's also available in Spanish. It's great, and again, thank you for the recommendation. I wanted to also mention that this new department is really looking to reach out to families across the entire state. I myself have been lucky enough to participate in various focus groups and processes that have been established to hear from families what is most important. I just want to invite everyone who's watching to do the same. Look at their website, join a work group, reach out and look at materials that are available, presentations, PowerPoints, and inform yourself to be able to give feedback. They're here to listen, and it's our opportunity to build something unique for our state, but also critical for our children. As I mentioned earlier, in the show, we want to hear from you, the community, parents, caregivers. And I did that over the past couple of days. We're in the month of June, and I couldn't launch the show in June without talking about Father's Day. I spoke to so many dads, so many caregivers, so many male role models in our community about what's your favorite part about being a dad? What do you enjoy most about caring for young children? I heard some great things, some funny stuff, and I just want to share it with you. Let's see what the guys I talked to had to say.
What's up, everybody? My name is Justice, and the Lord God has blessed me to be the father of a 4-year-old charismatic boy and a 6-month-old demanding daughter. What I love the most about being a father is learning to love when I wasn't loved by my own father, learning to listen when usually I'm only hearing whatever I wanted to hear, learning to be patient when I'm always in a rush, and learning to live because life is truly a gift from God, and I'm grateful that He has blessed me with a wonderful son and daughter.
I'd say my favorite thing about being a dad is spending time with my kids and then also seeing them develop and grow as people and being able to see the milestones that they're able to accomplish.
Being able to watch my kids grow and help guide them into, better choices, but at the same time watch the choices that they make based on the work that I have put in and the morals that I've tried to instill in them.
My favorite thing about being a dad is playing with my kids. They're very funny. They make me laugh a lot. And also hanging out with my daughter, and she likes to feed me.
The best part of being a dad is to see your children born, grow and develop, having families of their own, and blessing you with grandchildren, in my case, 6.
Thank you to everyone who participated. Please continue to send me those segments. I want to hear, and who knows, we might include them in a future show. That's the point of the Sandbox Social. Interaction with community, interaction with you. So there'll be more opportunities to do just that around a variety of topics, including who we want to have on the show and what questions we want to ask them. Again, this show is for everyone, even outside of our community, because the themes that we hope to talk about go across boundaries, across countries. So let's all learn. As we're coming to a close, there's really one important segment left, and that is what's happening in our community. This show hopes to be a bridge of information of what's happening and what families want to hear and participate in. So I want to highlight 2 different things happening in our community here in Aurora, Illinois. The first is with our farmers market. This program is awesome, and let me tell you, our family loves the farmers market. Sprouts Club aims to invite families with young children to be more active, participating in their farmers market here in Aurora with activities for kids. It's great. And they actually have a program where kids will be able to participate via completing a card, an activity card, and they'll get credit to buy things at the farmers market, such as fruits and vegetables. Farmers markets are such a great learning tool for kids. They'll learn about nutrition. They will learn about community. You'll see familiar faces. You'll engage with other families. I really just want to invite everyone who's listening to do some research. See what community markets are available to you. And perhaps they look a little different. I'd love to hear what programs there are for children in yours. This is something I want to highlight that is currently going on and will be going on for the rest of the summer. Let's take advantage, and I will see you at the farmers market very soon. The other very, very important thing I want to highlight are libraries. Libraries are a great resource and one that sometimes we don't utilize to their full extent. Well, a lot of libraries across the state, across the country, have launched their summer reading programs. And I wanted to highlight the one here in the city of Aurora. Level up at your library. They're all these fun, engaging themes for kids, and they work towards building early literacy skills and tracking to get awesome prizes. Again, libraries should be visited even more frequently, and the traffic increases over summer. So let's take advantage of what's out there. Let's learn, and I want to hear what's available in your library. What's the theme? I know our libraries here in Kane County are very diverse, but all offer a great, great, great setting for families to come and interact with each other and engage. That's the point. That's why they're there. So level up at all of your libraries. Let's see what books you're reading. I have a couple here with me that I've gotten from our local library. Well, we've come to the end of our first episode. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy we were able to launch this show. It's been a long time coming, and I want to invite you to continue to engage with me to help build this show. You can find us on Facebook at the Sandbox Social, or you'll be able to find a recording of this clip on YouTube. Please share it with everyone, with any parent and caregiver. Help us build this show to the best it could be. I'm really excited to collaborate. We'll see you very soon. We'll see you out in the summer. Take care.
Why I like being a parent. I like being a parent because... Could you turn that down? I like being a parent because... Down. I like being a parent because... I said down. Because... Down. Because they're in on the joke.